When we think about superheroes, what actually comes to mind? For me, it's America, since that's where 90% of superhero stories are made, and it's the birthplace of the modern superheroes we have today. Well, after days of research, I came to find out that the massive titans that we know as Marvel and DC have actually made some British superheroes. So I was like, oh, okay. So I read some of them, and I've compiled a list of some of the ones that I like. You might even be surprised by a few. Number 10, Captain Britain. Okay, so you can't really start out a British superhero list without mentioning the patriot superhero, Captain Britain. At face value, he just looks like a B-Tech Captain America ripoff, but he's actually completely different. There is a ripoff on this list, but don't worry, we'll get to it. Brian Braddock, aka Captain Britain, first appeared in Captain Britain issue number 1 in 1976. He was given his powers by Merlin of all people. Brian was caught in an unfortunate situation which resulted in him nearly bleeding to death. Merlin offered him the chance of living if he became Britain's next champion. He agreed and took the Amulet of Life, becoming the next patriot hero for Britain. After many years of publication, his lore was expanded. It was revealed that he was part of the Captain Britain Corps, which is essentially a league of superheroes consisting of different versions of Captain Britain. Think multi-dimensional Green Lantern. He is also part of MI13, which he is the leader of. This is a team that specifically targets supernatural occurrences. His powers are super speed, superhuman stamina, durability, agility, reflexes, senses, and he can fly faster than the speed of sound. His powers were initially linked to the amulet, but Merlin soon removed this limitation. Then his powers were directly linked to the British Isles, and now his confidence determines whether he can use his powers. He now goes by the alias Captain Avalon. There are rumours that Henry Cavill may play him on the big screen. I'm not against that decision. I think he could definitely make it work. Number 9, Psylocke. Betsy Braddock is the twin sister of Brian, and she has both served time as Captain Britain and Psylocke of the X-Men. She was introduced in Captain Britain issue 8 in 1976. She served as a minor support character until her mutant powers activated, and then she functioned as Captain Britain for a short while. She then went to Xavier School for higher learning to control her powers. This is probably as normal as it gets for her, because sometime after this her mind gets transferred into a Japanese woman. So that kind of explains why many iterations of her look Asian. She now has taken the mantle of Captain Britain once again. She has served time on the X-Men, Excalibur, X-Force, the Sisterhood of Mutants, and she is now part of the Captain Britain Corps. Betsy is one of Marvel's strongest telepaths, so this means she can read minds, astral project, create illusions, and erase people's minds. She can also use her telepathic abilities to create psionic blasts and knives. She also has telekinesis, which means she can fly, levitate objects, and create force fields. She can also manifest telekinetic weapons like katanas, crossbows, and flails. Unlike most characters with her powers, Psylocke favors close combat, which is why she mostly uses her powers to create weapons. 8. Captain Midlands. Sid Riley, aka Captain Midlands, first appeared in Wisdom issue number 1 in 2007. Captain Midlands is essentially what Captain America would be if he wasn't frozen in ice. He was part of the British Super Soldier program, and he is the only known survivor of this experiment. He fought for Britain in the 1940s during World War II. Unlike Steve Rogers, he aged normally. In fact, we were introduced to him when he was 80 years old, and despite having the body of a pensioner, he was still able to use all of his superhuman abilities. Being that he's a super soldier, it means he has peak human strength, speed, stamina, agility, durability, reflexes, and he has a mild healing factor. 7. Knight. Cyril Sheldrake is known as the DC superhero Knight. He first appeared in Batman issue 62 in 1950. Knight is the Batman of the UK. In fact, the character was directly inspired by the Caped Crusader. Cyril initially went by the name Squire until his father's death. Not much is really known about this character, as he was mainly used in team-up issues when Batman had some adventures in the UK. but he ended up becoming part of the Batman of All Nations organization, which is an establishment which includes all superheroes that act as Batman's global representatives. He is also a member of the Ultramarine Corps. Knight does not have any powers, but it's noted that he has advanced hand-to-hand combat abilities, moderate investigative skills, and he is a competent sword fighter. He also possesses an armor that repels magic. 6. Squire. Beryl Hutchinson first appeared as Squire in Justice League issue 26 in 1999. She is the Robin of the United Kingdom, and she took on the Squire mantle after the death of Knight's father. She opted to become Squire in order to mend the broken hero, and the two went on many adventures together. In the Battle of the Cowl storyline, where Batman was seemingly dead, she relocated to Gotham to help Nightwing battle against the street gangs who attempted to take control over the city. She also has no powers, but she is a competent martial artist, swordsman, computer operator, and she is multilingual. 5. Motormouth. So I had to include this character because she's from Ends. Harley Davis first appeared in Motormouth issue number 1 in 1992. She was part of the Marvel UK imprint. She is an East Londoner, and it was her incredibly foul mouth that earned her the nickname Motormouth. She is another character with a really confusing backstory, but all you really need to know is that she was sent to the future and she bought a microchip that granted her powers. One of her most notable stories was saving Prince Charles alongside the Hulk from a villain called Madman. Like most British heroes in the Marvel Universe, she joined MI13. Motormouth is able to create false blasts by screaming, and by humming at a low pitch, she is able to use ultrasound to see through solid objects. She is also able to jump freely between different dimensions. 4. Blade. So if you didn't already know, Blade is actually a Londoner. He was born in Soho. He is probably one of the more well-known members on this list, since he had his own trilogy of movies, which are criminally underrated in my opinion. He made his first appearance as Eric Brooks in Tomb of Dracula issue 10 in 1973. He is a vampire-human hybrid who was born to a prostitute in London. He gained his powers because his mother was bit by a vampire during labour. At the age of 9, he was taken in by a vampire hunter who trained him in the ways of slaying them. His mentor soon became the victim to Dracula. Since then, Eric swore to kill any vampire that came his way. After being bitten by the Spider-Man villain Morbius, he gained the ability of a Daywalker. This means he has all the powers of a vampire, but none of the weaknesses. His powers include superhuman strength, agility, reflexes, speed, senses. He has a high healing factor. Since he is part vampire, he still has a thirst for blood, but he overcomes this by injecting himself with a serum that provides him with the same benefits. 3. Godiva. Dora Leigh, aka Godiva, is a British superhero hailing from the DC universe, and she has served time on both the Justice League International and the Knights Incorporation. She first appeared in Justice League International Volume 3, Issue 1 in 2011. Her backstory is basically non-existent, as she was made specifically for the team. The only noteworthy thing about her character is that she had a flirtatious relationship with Booster Gold. Godiva has pristine hair, which means she is able to manipulate it into doing whatever she wants. Number 2, Excalibur. Farzi Hussein currently goes by Excalibur, and she is part of MI13. Her first appearance was in Captain Britain and the MI13 issue 1. She was an ordinary medical student in London until she was hit by some cosmic rays, causing her to develop superpowers. She also came under the possession of the famed sword Excalibur, and she uses this in combat. She is also one of the most notable Muslims in comics. I think if they were to make a Captain Britain movie, she would be great in the supporting cast. She has the powers to disassemble anything and manipulate it on an atomic level. She mainly uses this ability to heal others. She is also a formidable sword fighter, since she was chosen to wield Excalibur. Think of her powers as being the same as Overhaul from My Hero Academia. Number 1, Union Jack. Lastly, we have my favourite British hero, Union Jack. His real name is Joseph Chapman, and he made his first appearance in Captain America issue 253 in 1981. Hailing from a working class family in Manchester, Chapman donned the mantle Union Jack because his predecessor, James Montgomery Falsworth, was too old. I would describe him as a more edgy Captain America, so like an English Winter Soldier. As of now, he has no powers, he is just in peak physical condition, and he is an expert with firearms. So these were some British heroes. Some were definitely more obscure than others, but let me know if any of them sparked your interest. To be honest, now I'm remembering more. Pixie from the X-Men is from Wales, and John Constantine or Constantine from DC Comics is, I think, a Londoner as well. Oh well, I may leave them for another video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more videos every week. Yeah, bye.